I'd like to invite some of the filmmakers up. Chris Brosnan from Glass. From Hagua, I've got Mark Chavez, Sophia Uribe, Liam Welsh, I think are all here. And from Surfing Taiwan, past, present, and future, James Wick. And who's this? And Liam couldn't make it? From Hagua. Yeah, excellent. I just want to have an introduction there.
Okay, yeah. I'm Mark Chavez, director of Hagua.
And Eamon was in the film, and Sophia Uribe.
Yeah, Eamon is in this film too.
Excellent. And then James Wick here from Surfing Taiwan, and Chris from Glass, a great local film. Yep. All filmmakers that didn't have to travel too far, right? All local filmmakers, so really excited to represent that. It's an international film festival of films from all over the world, but super exciting when we have some great local filmmakers that we can have to our festival and present these great pieces of work, an opportunity to have a voice and tell these special stories. Chris, I'll start with you. What inspired this move to make this film? And we love all the shots of Oceanside in it, of course, right?
Yeah, thanks, Lou. I would say it was the Oceanside International Film Festival last year that inspired me. I was sitting where all of you are, and I saw a couple blocks. Carly invited me to come down. I had never been to a film festival before, and I dabble in photography. I'm a financial analyst by trade, but I sat here and I watched a lot of films, and I decided maybe I could do one of these. And Isaac in the crowd here, he's one of my surfer buddies. I met him out here on a little weird watermelon board, and asked him who made it, and he just said I did. And then so I got a couple boards from him, and then I went over to his bar afterwards at Sancho's and was like, "You want to make a film?" And he was like, "All right." So yeah, not a lot of experience doing it, but thank you guys for having us.
Awesome, nice work. So you had kind of like a juju moment where you're like, screw this desk job, I'm going to make a film about surfing that I love. Cool, right? And James, it's interesting, I don't know if you were here earlier, I think it was Daydreaming also had a Sprout moment in it? Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So did Sprout inspire you to make this film? Another film inspire you to make this film, or was it more Taiwan?
I think more Taiwan in this case. I'm a huge Thomas Campbell fan, but I just see, I grew up in Taiwan, and I see a lot of surf films that go to the cultures, but the film isn't really about the culture. It's just about kind of extracting the waves and bringing them back. So I wanted to try to reverse that model, and you probably found out that I'm a professor. I had a little history lesson added in there as well, but just really wanted to allow people to see the beauty of Taiwan culture from a coastal perspective and from a surfer's lens. So tried to capture that.
Right, excellent. Did a great job of that. And Hagua, just a beautiful film telling a story and giving education, but then shot with reenactments, and it's just really, I don't know if people understand how hard it is to make a short film with a full story in it and done so well. You think short is easier. It's not. It's much harder. So it's beautiful work. What was the inspiration to bring you all together for this?
Thank you very much for those comments. I'm glad that you were able to see that. The inspiration was we have a nonprofit that services Native American teenage youth and young adults here in San Diego, and we work with all the tribes here in San Diego. And to have a very, very small group of Native youth that actually surf on these beaches that are from these tribes, from these local coastal tribes, the Kumeyaay and Luceño and the Cahuilla folks and the Ahachiman folks that are from this Southern California, Orange County, San Diego County area, to see ourselves in the water and on the big screen was the first inspiration, and to leave a documentation that we're still here and that we're thriving in the water, even if it's a very small group. All of those surfers that are from those tribes, which is a handful, they're all in the film. And to leave that message that, you know, we survived a very very unfortunate massacre in California due to the gold rush. I'm talking about California Native Americans. And to the fact that we're survived here today and that we're surfing is our testament to survival and for hope and for what we call regeneration, especially in this time of environmental integrity that's needed. It's the restoration. And one of the main young men that was the character on there, Shalook, his family's here from the Kumeyaay Nation. So the students that we have in our program are inspirations, and they reflect kind of my life and my backstory too. So to see us and to our young kids and the last scenes with the sunset with these little guys, it kind of was a similar theme in one of the other films. The Groms are flourishing. To see this flourishing happening is part of our story. And that was a big piece of that.
Beautiful. That's nice. So, Chris, this was your first adventure. Did you rush out and start planning your next?
We've just been trying to get through this one, and yeah, I don't know what I want to do next, but I guess I'll see if Isaac wants to do anything else, and then I don't know.
Taking this film to other festivals at all?
I still haven't even got that far thinking. It's all been just kind of a step-by-step process. Like I said, I don't know anything about film, honestly, really. I like movies, but never made one. This was the first festival I'd been to last year, so it's been a journey. I mean, it's been cool. I appreciate the community here, and just having us here. It's been cool.
Right. And James, I mean, telling the story. One of the beautiful things about filmmaking, I think that draws a lot of us to it, is that it's that permanency. Now there's a story told and captured. The inspiration for you, the past, present, and then the future. Are you looking forward to more of that and more? Are you leaning historic? Are you leaning more surf, or what?
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here and honor to be up here with these great filmmakers. It's awesome. Yeah, I'm working on another Taiwan documentary right now that's less about the culture and more about the way that being next to the ocean changes one's consciousness. So it's looking at how people vote, how they eat, what their diet is, what their behaviors are, and the way that the ocean changes that and transforms them. So I'm working on that project now and hope to get it out soon. So thanks for asking.
Wow, excellent. A lot, kind of touching on what you guys are talking about too with Hagua, just the importance of not just with indigenous people, but the connection to the ocean and what the ocean can do and be medicinal. Even one of the characters in Surfing Taiwan mentioned that it's his church, and that's what I say when I go surfing. It's like my church to go out there and think with my own thoughts alone. It seems like there's so much that you can do with this film, and so much you have to do, or have you already been doing, taking it around. It's an amazing educational tool and should be shown many more places, and especially in schools. Are you working on that?
Yes, I have a team, and Sophia's part of our team with Native Like Water. She's our chief operations officer, and she helped write some of the funding for the film, the seed funding for this film, and Maybe you want to answer that question as far as what we're doing.
Yeah, I like how your film ended in terms of like future generations. For us, we're a nonprofit at our core who made a surf film, who just turned the cameras on us. And so our main aspect and contribution to the world too is just raising that next generation of cultural ocean practitioners. So folks that are in the ocean, folks of our community, indigenous folks, to really represent their connection to the ocean as a holistic perspective and not just looking at it as surfing, but how to care for it, how to nurture it, and exactly that cultural and spiritual aspect to it as well. And in terms of curriculum, we are building out a curriculum to go along with this film to share for schools and K through 12 college levels to bring in that aspect of connection to water and all the healing properties that it has intergenerationally, intertribally, and yeah, building out the curriculum for further sharing and to share our narrative forward.
Excellent, beautiful. Let's take some questions from the audience.
I wanted to know, was it challenging to get a ship and film on a ship? That seemed preposterous for a short film. And I just wonder what that experience was like.
That was kind of a historical reference point, an icon for the film. I wanted to reference the story of what we call the first contact of the Spanish galleons arriving to the coast. I wanted to capture that, and also to kind of without having to go through the whole history and talking about the history. I just wanted that reference, and we have a relationship with the Maritime Museum in San Diego, down in the Bay. So we were able to work something out with them and have that ship out there. But it was a very important. That's the San Salvador. So the film is indigenous here for local, but as you probably see, I didn't mention the tribal names in the film itself or geographic locations in the film itself, because it's a story that a lot of us share along the West Coast or even Australia or even Hawaii, of folks having that lifestyle and then not having it after a certain time, usually after the first contact. So that ship represents a leg of the Spanish journey that came from central Mexico along the Nahua coast, Colima and Michoacan. That last leg of the trip was the galleon leaving from there and arriving in San Diego. So that left the good wave that we saw in the film was shot in mainland Mexico with Nahuatl surfers. So Nahuatl is a coast is 1,000 miles from here in San Diego, but has a connection also to the language family here, which is the human language family. So we wanted to kind of retrace that first contact and see how our relatives are kind of doing and share that common bond, which we're still alive and we're flourishing through surfing. But the ship was definitely a very big, important part.
What did you all shoot on?
I shot on a Nikon Z8. Oh, sorry guys. I shot on a Nikon Z8.
Had a Canon C200 and just had a GoPro in the water.
We had about 4 different cameras at different shoots, different times. We had a red camera, we had some Canons. It was various cameras, and I can't remember every one, but the majority of it was on a red camera setup.
That's great. And I just have to add about the boat. Yeah, you could have added like 20 minutes to the film, kind of telling the story that just the image of the boat imparts, but just in people's minds, they can tell that whole story in their mind just by seeing the boat coming. Right. I think we all know.
And that was Cabrillo Monument in the background of the boat. So that ship was Cabrillo's ship, the San Salvador, and the way we shot it with Point Loma in the background, but we didn't show houses or anything. So it looks pretty like original if you go out there. So yeah, that was a big piece.
Anyone else come up with a question? Okay, in the back.
For the Native Lake Water folks, just wondering for people who go in the waters and surf here, if you have any guidance or recommendations or requests from people who aren't native to these lands of like how to be in good relationship with the waters, if you have any. I'm not, no pressure.
Yeah, that's a good question, and it's asked quite a bit because people want to have good intention. Um, for me, that's why I kind of also did the film, is that most narratives that are mainstream narratives dehumanize us as people. So we wanted to create something that rehumanizes us, and also for the audience who are not Native American, so they could see us as human, because if all of the media that we've been consuming since we were small dehumanized the Native people or people of color, to switch that back is a process. And the beginning process is to see us as humans, and to see us just as important as it were to save any native species. Because within the environmental sector now, we understand that the real battle is between the invasive species and the indigenous species when it comes to rehabilitating an ecosystem. And we're talking about the same ecosystem that we all live together in. So for us, it started with that most simplistic thing. It's a very humanistic type of request, and to see the coast through what we call an indigenous lens, to be able to walk around, even though you might not see us physically, knowing that we are there spiritually, and to also know, even with our youth within our programs, to understand that our folks have continuously been in this area for over 20,000 years. 20,000 years when you look at that timeline compared to the timeline that the ship represents. The ship represents just like 500 and something years. So 20,000 years, this is a very ample, grand story that comes with science, that comes with culture, that comes with ways of living. And now people are calling it traditional ecological knowledge. So all of those contributions to be kind of even to be inquired about or to be curious about are able to start to put us together in line for solutions.
Okay, I think we got time for one more question. Can you project?
Thank you. That was all enlightening and so well done, all of you. Quick question. With your history, is there some documentation of the very first time that the Nawa got in the water? That first images, first history or tales when you first had, Nawa generation in the water for the first time? Like how far back does that surf history go?
Well, for the Nahua Nation, where I come from is in mainland Mexico. So here is the Kumeyaay. We're actually in Luiseño area too, and that's a good question. There's these things called the codices within my culture, the Nahua culture. The codices are a lot of the pictographs that were written on agave paper. They're in the Anthropology Museum in Mexico City. You can look them up, called codices. And they document, some of the things are the oldest, the documentation of us in water and how it looked within our lifestyle around water. There was no waves per se, but this is a question I always get asked, like, where did surfing come from? And all of us were fishermen. And when you're fishing, even here, when you're done fishing, you come in on a wave. You're surfing on a wave. As humans, that can be dated back to as long as we were auto-sustainable, self-sustaining ourselves through fishing. If you look at the animals, like the birds and the dolphins, they're all surfing. So surfing is something I believe that's innate within all of us. Even babies, when you see them get to the ocean for the first time, they go in and out with the tide. So it's one of those things that once a wave starts to push you, you're basically surfing. Now, where they've taken it now with boards and, like where Hawaii has it in their culture is more and more poetry, and also has a role in society too. So, but locally documented, these are some of the things that we challenge ourselves to investigate. As you saw in there's tule canoes. So there's tule canoes here, there's tule canoes in where I'm from in Mexico, there's tule canoes in Africa, in Peru. This is a common watercraft, and again, we'll be taking waves in coming from our fishing or whale hunting or whatnot.
Great. Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Again, the film festival continues next week. You had a question?
I have a question with both of you guys right here on the grass and the colonies. And one thing I saw in the film was that there are barriers, right, to like the continuation of surfing. What are, can you just like quickly, what are some of those barriers?
So like barriers to surfing? Okay. He probably has more than I do.
Thanks for asking, and I love all I'm able to learn tonight from this discussion. I think in terms of barriers in U.S. culture, mainstream and surf culture, there's that kind of Fast Times at Ridgemont High, this kind of distinction between mainstream and surf culture, and there's a division there. But Taiwan's island culture, there's less of that division. So that's why in the film I tried to show the people in the clouds as well, just to show there's a much more of an integration between being next to the ocean and mainstream culture. So I think there's a barrier in each culture, but it's distinct in Taiwan and not equivalent to California. So I wanted to show that barrier kind of broken down, honestly. So I really love that question. Thank you.
And then for us, I really, how would we, like, are these surfboards the West Coast, is the Wild West, right?
Yeah, so Isaac Clough here started Wild West Surf Co. like maybe a year ago, maybe two. Is it two now? A year under taking it seriously. Okay. Yeah, so Isaac used to shape out of a garage on Tremont Street down here when I met him, and I kind of talked him into taking an offer to take over this barn on the Ivy Ranch Horse Park here. And so he's been pumping boards out of there lately, so you can find him on Instagram at Wild West Surf Co. He makes a lot of alt-craft twin fin boards, so really cool. A lot of, like the board in that film I now have, and he tried to get me to ride it for like a year because he always has one out there like that. He's always trying to get people on him, and I was like, I don't know, dude, it's really short. But yeah, the one I have is that one from the movie. It's 5'4", and like it's really fun. So I encourage people to give them a try. What's that? He can make you anything you want, really. Like he's a savant of surfboards. But yeah, just reach out to him on Wild West or grab him after the show here and get his contact. But yeah, he'll make you something. Yeah.
Great. Again, thank you everybody for coming out. Thank you. So let's hear another round of applause for the amazing filmmakers. Film Festival continues at the Star Theater next week. OSIDefilm.org for more information. Thank you so much for coming out.